Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Beyond the Track. I'm Daniel Blair. I want to thank everybody for tuning into all these episodes. I hope you guys are liking them as much as we like doing them. And if you want to catch more episodes, go to the YouTube page or go to supercrosslive.com and look up Beyond the Track. We've done a lot of these things, talked to riders, mechanics, team managers, media, photographer. I mean, we really are going beyond the track with this thing. It's been a fun time. Today, it's Vann Martin. Vann, welcome to the show. First off. Second off, we got a lot to talk about with you, not only as a racer, but also with the things that you're doing beyond the track. Actually, it's not fair because you're still at the track, but it's beyond the track for you. But let's start just by establishing who you are, your background as a racer, and then we'll move forward from there.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Daniel. I really appreciate it. And Sean always giving me the opportunity to kind of get some more press, because it's kind of tough out here being a privateer, and trying to build my name and trying to build my brand, all that. So I really appreciate you all having me on. And yeah, so my name's Vann Martin. I'm from Houston, Texas. I've been riding since I was 3 years old. Started racing when I was 8. My dad, he works at Honda of Houston, which is kind of a legendary dealership in Houston. They had a big race team going on. So he also raced local pro in the Texas area and got me into racing at a young age. And just basically it took off from there. Started racing when I was 8 and chasing the amateur nationals. At first, I was never really that good. I was just a kid that had sick bikes because my dad had all the connections and stuff. And I was in the back of the pack, and all these amateur nationals getting lapped by, I remember getting lapped by Villapoto at Ponca City one year, like halfway throughout like a heat race or something, like, and I was just mind blown, and just kept building from there. I won a Loretta's championship, and then I turned pro in 2012, raced the last 4 outdoors at Loretta's, and then 2013 was my first year racing Supercross, and kind of been at it ever since, just grinding away. I've had some injuries, but I've been trying to come back and just trying to progress as a rider and just keep toughing it out.
Before we move on, I want to talk about getting lapped, because when you said that, it made me laugh, because I had the same kind of thing happen to me. You say Ponca City? Because that's where it happened to me too. Okay, so I raced Ponca City one time on an 85. I got third in my race. It was super muddy, and I'm little, so mud is not my thing, but I had a good one. I got third. Travis Pastrana won, and he lapped me twice.
Dude, that's pretty
I think Johnny Marley was maybe second, and I think he lapped him once too. So Pastrana was like 10 years old, walked his bike. He was so tall, he just walked his bike through the mud. And I got third. It was one of my best amateur races ever at the time, and he lapped me. I think I did 2 laps and he did 4. So when Villapoto goes by you, are you just like, dang it? But he's pretty sick too, so okay.
Yeah, for sure. It was like, I just remember distinctly, because I was pretty young in 85, but my dad was always like, dude, race as many classes as you can. And I was like, all right, let's do it, and I was racing, like, I was young on 85, but I was racing like the super mini class. So he was like the old super mini kid that was just dominating, and then I'm not even halfway into a heat race or something, and he laughs me, and I'm just like, dude, like mind blown. But still, like, you see
at that point, did you think that guy had something special maybe?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, everyone knew it. Everyone knew it at that point. I don't think he even like lost the race. Him and Alessi were battling, but I think Ponca, like, he won like so many motos that year, if I remember correctly. It was just, everyone knew he had something special.
That's wild. So okay, so you then turned pro and raced Supercross. How was that? Like, just your first year again? Obviously, you've been around the sport growing up, so you knew what Supercross was. I'm sure you had been to the Houston Supercross, so you knew about the lights and the crowd. I guess, what was it like for you when you did your first one and you're on the gate and you're looking up going, whoa?
Yeah, it is pretty mind-blowing when you get to that stage. You're from amateur racing, but like you said, I've been going to Supercrosses, like multiple Supercrosses every year since I was like 5 years old, like going to Houston and Dallas every single year because my dad would bring me there. And then I went to Daytona for 1 year for the RCSX before I turned pro at the beginning of 2012. And I actually won the championship there in the A class. So, you know, I've been around Supercross for so long. So, but it was to finally be down on the floor was just like, man, this is it. I'm here. And yeah, I was supposed to race the whole of 2013 East Coast season, but I broke my wrist right before the beginning of East Coast. So I had to wait until Houston came around. I was very unprepared, but I missed my first main by one spot in the LCQ, in the heat race and the LCQ in my hometown. It was a bummer, but just yeah, unfortunately, I mean, so that year 2013, I broke my wrist, only raced one Supercross. 2014, I raced Dallas, and then I broke my other wrist in Atlanta. 2015, I took the whole year off. At the end of 2014, I had this really big crash at this local race at Cycle Ranch. I fractured my skull in like 6 places. I actually have a plate right here that goes from all the way across. They had to cut me open from ear to ear and peel my face back. And I broke my back too in that crash. And I took the year off in 2015. I started working at my dad's dealership that he works at, and I was just a setup guy in 2015, working at the dealership. And then I get halfway throughout the year, and you know, I'm watching Supercross every single weekend, and I'm seeing dudes that I was just battling with last year making the main events, and I'm just like, I need to work a little harder, and come into 2016, I need to try to find some support actually, and not just like struggle, because that was one of the reasons why I kind of gave it up in 2015 too. I'm laying in the hospital bed, broken back, ruined my face, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm not even making any money. Like, it was a struggle. So yeah, and then that's when I found All South. That's when I met John McCullough, the owner of Team All South. And 2016, we were just full on board, and that was my best year yet. I got a 2-digit number after that. 2017, I had another injury. 2018, I had an injury too. And 2019, I raced the whole 450 year. And then 2020, I blew my knee out, second round. And now here we are, 2021, just trying to improve, trying to stay healthy, and trying to grow as a person and as a rider.
That's awesome. I mean, that's how you grow, right? Through struggles like that and through challenges. You know, we had Adam Cincerello on Race Day Live in Daytona, and he was talking about how he learns from every mistake, and he's not afraid to make them, because that's how you learn from them. And I have to imagine the same thing with you. You have these injuries, not all are your fault. I mean, I have a bunch of injuries that weren't my fault. Bike malfunction, taken out in the first corner, whatever. But at the same time, I had a lot of injuries that I learned from myself, and just every year tried to eliminate that from ever happening again. And it's a struggle. You don't want to go through that stuff. But at the same time, do you find yourself on the back end of it going, these are experiences, I am learning this? I mean, you don't want to have to go through the physical part of it and the time off. At the same time, do you look at it, trying to look at it with a positive and go, these are experiences that I can learn from, and maybe even use in a different part of my life, like outside of racing? I always did that way. Are you the same?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like, yeah, you mentioned that AC interview you did with him last weekend, where you broke down his crash like 100 times, I think. Or you slow moed it.
Tried to get 101, and he had enough.
Yeah, that last time was so funny. You're like, all right, we're gonna break it down one more time, and he's like, oh man. But I took some things AC said. He's just like, he's such a I don't know, he's such a knowledgeable dude. He's so intelligent, and the way he looked at it, he was like, you know, that was my fault right there, and I'm gonna learn from that. And that's kind of the same way I've had with a lot of my crushes. Yeah, some of them I kind of think were just circumstantial, like what you said, just being in a bad position. But most of them, I'm just like, you know what, I can fix that, whether it be technique, whether it be me not being so dumb and just hanging it out. And you know, there's way to fix that, and you could look at that in life too. I mean, it's just like what you were saying, you just growing as a person, learn from your mistakes on the track, and then putting that too off the track as well, you know.
The relationship with All South, explain that one a little bit to me again, because they're not from around here. Typically people build relationships with people close to them. Then for you, this is a few states away. now you have this relationship. Just kind of explain that relationship, how it started and where it's at, and then obviously where it might be going.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool story actually. So yeah, like I said, I got hurt 2015 and I wanted to find some more help going into 2016. And dude, I just posted everywhere. I was straight up front, like on my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything. I was like, look, I want to go racing. I'm looking for help. I could put your logo this big on the side of my shroud, you know, to possibly get it on TV, like, and yeah, get your company some advertisement. And I actually started a LinkedIn and put it on there. And just one of my buddies, Hunter Pagan, like told me to start at LinkedIn, and he said that's where businesses are looking to help people out. And literally the next day is when I met John McCullough. He messaged me on LinkedIn and said, hey, I know who you are. I've known who you are from a young age. One of their good friends, Wes Williams, obviously everyone knows Wes Williams was Verb Moto and Red Bull Moto Spy and all that. And he grew up in like the same city with John and his son, Jeff McCullough. And Jeff used to always race amateur nationals and stuff. So John saw my videos from a young age, like Road to Loretta's and all those cool videos that were on Verb Moto back in the day of me. And he liked my personality, and Wes told him good things about me. And John was like, hey man, I want to help you out. What do you need? And that's when it started in 2016. And he helped me out 2016. Didn't even want a logo on the bike. He was just like, I want to do this for you. And that's when I made a bunch of 250 main events. I got number 96 going into 2017. And then just from there, the next year, 2017, he's like, all right, I'm going to put my company on the side of your bike. I'm going to go all in. And he helped me out 2017, 2018. And then 2019, we kind of expanded the team. We had Lane Shaw and Kyle Swanson and myself all racing. And then Kern Thurman as well. And John McCullough unfortunately passed away at the end of 2019. So that was a huge heartbreak for our whole team. And but it flipped the page, and Abby McCullough, John's daughter, let us know like right after that she didn't want to leave us hanging, and she wanted to keep the team going for John because he had such a passion for it, and he just wanted us to see us succeed and reach our goals. And Abby's been keeping it going in 2020 and 2021. And we're just, next year, we're trying to get more team sponsors on board, honestly, because she's been spending a lot of money out of her pocket, and we've been trying to look more uniform. We got a big rig in the pits. And for 2022, we're trying to make this happen a little bit more, where she just does not have to spend everything out of her pocket. And that's what we're going for in 2022. So just trying to reach out to people and trying to get more team sponsors on board coming into next year.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think about how many good people there are out there that love the sport, become attached with riders, want to help them. And it doesn't mean that everybody's going to work well with everybody. Some people just aren't on the same page. So it was one of those things with you when you met him and talked to him. It was perfect because you were seeking help. He obviously wanted to help, but you guys, your relationship as individuals probably meshed more than even the sponsor and the racing side, right? And I know there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help, but there's a lot of riders out there looking for it. But it really takes that kind of a bond to make it work past like a year or 2 years. And you're going on how many years now? So I have to imagine that was what kind of led this charge, was just that personal relationship and you guys being on the same page as individuals, not just as a racer and a sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head right there. Like the day I met John, it was literally like we just clicked, you know, we were friends. And it turned into just a family bond, like right away. Like I'm a few weeks into meeting this guy, and like I'm going to his house and meeting his whole entire family. And now we're just like the whole team as a whole, it's like a family, you know, like we all love each other. Like we all want to hang out with each other. And yeah, we all just like each other's company. And mainly like Abby and John, they want us to succeed and reach our goals, but they also are like, they want us to be safe and have fun while we're doing it, and not just want it to be a grind all the time. And just, you know, like they want us to have fun and be safe at the same time. So it's cool to like have a family kind of aspect in the team, you know?
They want you to do good, but inside of a realization that it's not just results driven. This is about having fun, staying safe, being happy, and get results if you can, you know? And does it feel like it takes the pressure off a little bit? Like they're not like the expectations are lower because they're giving you guys such a basic expectation, which is be safe, have fun, and do your best. Does that take the pressure off not only you as an individual racer, but just your whole group?
Yeah. I think it does. But I mean, like me, Nick, and Kern, we're still just, I mean, we put the pressure on ourselves to be good no matter the circumstances, you know? Like Abby wants us to have fun and be safe, and she wants us to do good, but it takes the pressure off a little bit, but we're still like hard on each other, like, and like we want ourselves to do good, you know? It's still, we put pressure on ourselves as a rider wanting to succeed, you know?
Let's pivot this towards something else that you've got going on. Obviously you're a smart individual. Everyone listening right now can already tell that you're intelligent. You can communicate, which you need to be that way if you're going to communicate to other riders as a coach, as a trainer. You obviously have that, and that's part of your gig too. You work with people. We're in Texas. There's a couple amateur nationals that are landing right here this week. I know you're heavily involved with that as well. We've got Freestone, Spring-a-Ding. You're also here. You know what I mean? You're juggling a lot this week, but tell me about that other side of your responsibilities and things that you're passionate about, helping other riders on a very important week for a lot of them.
Yeah, it's been, the Supercross season has been just extremely chaotic for me. I'm so busy. Like literally I've partnered up with Colin Edwards and the Texas Tornado motocross training facility that we got going on, and it's called TTMX. Just started up, big outdoor track. It's unbelievable elevation, big jumps, and I got a big group of riders that I coach in the Houston area, about 10-15 kids that are with me, like literally Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're on the track working for 4 or 5 hours a day, and I'm helping them with section starts, all this stuff, just coaching them to be better riders, you know? And it's been crazy. Like these kids they're all like fast. Like I have 2 kids that have won Loretta's championships before, and a bunch of kids that are top 10 at all these amateur nationals. So I'm well invested in these kids. You know, I almost want them to succeed more than I like in putting on myself, honestly, because it's I see the potential in this being a career option, you know, like kind of going more towards that route. And yeah, it's been chaotic. So I'll race on Saturday. I fly home on Sunday. I try to ride on Monday and try to train for myself on Supercross, but it hasn't been working out. The weather in Houston rains all the time, and I just got my Supercross track freshened up before Houston, and some teams came out. Kenny and Tomac came out and rode my track, so that was cool. But I've only ridden it one time since the beginning of Houston. Like
You're
literally
probably staring at it, right? Like,
dude, yeah. And it's been kind of frustrating. So it's been like kind of raining on and off, and Kern's been getting to practice on it because like it'll rain over the weekend, and then I go to ride on Monday, but it's a little too wet, but then Tuesday and Wednesday it'll be good. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I train kids. So, and then I fly out on Thursday night or Friday, go race Saturday, come back Sunday, and then try to ride on Monday, train kids Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's just, it's going nonstop. And then it was cool. Daytona, I got to stay afterwards and help a few of my kids there. I had Gage Brown in the 65 class. He won a championship for all of us at Texas Tornado MX. And now he's at Spring-a-Ding. He, I believe they sent me a #1 plate. So he won another championship right there. I'm pretty sure.
He's in a 9-year-old, I think. I know him. My son raced him at the Houston Supercross Futures.
Oh yeah,
1 year younger than my son, so I kind of know that age group, and I know he's one of the top ones. Did he win? He won Loretta's, didn't he? The 50?
Yeah, he won Loretta's in the 50 class.
Yeah,
Year too.
Yeah, and
I've been
super good rider, really good.
Yeah, yeah, and the family's awesome. I literally live 10 minutes from them, so I pick him up on my way to the track every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's also cool too, because I pick up the way it works for me to drive to Colin Edwards to the boot camp, I pick up 4 kids on my way there. So I just
So
have
you're like a school bus driver.
yes, exactly. It works out like
Open the
perfect.
door.
Yeah, I pick it and then we get to the camp and I literally, I open the door and I'm like, all right, all of y'all unload. I got some track work to do. I got to go water or whatever I got to do. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So I pick these kids up. So I know I'm on like a really personal side too. I'm drive with them like 30 minutes to the track every day. So I've gotten close to these kids and I want them to succeed, dude. I'm like, that's why I'm not even like really stressing about me not getting into practice. I want these kids to win championships and to eventually bring more kids to TTMX. And yeah, it's been nonstop. It's crazy, but I just love it. I have a passion for it. And they're all racing they finish at Springading and they're going to Freestone, and I'm going to be there in between the days that we're not racing. So actually when we're done with this, I'm going straight to Freestone. So yeah, I have a passion for it. I love doing it. Like I don't complain one bit. So I'm happy with it.
So how you juggling that then? You race Saturday, they're finishing up Springading. Today you're here, you're gonna go down there. Freestone will start Monday. You got to be back here though, because you've got Tuesday. Then you jam back down to Freestone through Friday, and then they're done on Friday though, right? So you can get back. They built the.
No, they race on dude, I think it goes till Sunday. I think Freestone does, doesn't it? No,
I thought this spring. I don't know. I have friends back
over
home
today
that are trying to come here Saturday to watch the race. They said they would be done by then, but I don't know.
Maybe it is Freestone wraps up on Saturday evening. I don't know. I'm pretty confused too because I know that they're pretty much done. Yeah. I just call one of the parents, hey, what's it looking like today? Like, and then I'll just pin it over there. So yeah, it's cool.
How do you? Okay, you say you got 15 kids, and not everyone's going to be winning Loretta's. So how do you do that as a coach when you have a group of 15, and maybe this kid is somewhere else in his development, and you are really focused on going after a title? Then you got a kid in the middle who you just, God, we're close. We can get a top 10, but we got to, maybe fundamentals is more the issue than speed. And then you got the other kids that just want to qualify for the main event, so they got a lot of work. How do you juggle that in one day when you have a big group? It's always seemed like a challenge to me when you have to be a different person to every kid. How do you do it?
Yeah, it's gotten tough, but I've been coaching kids now for as long as I've been pro, because it's literally been helping me kind of fund my racing since like the day I turned pro. I was like, my dad was pretty much like, hey, I can't help out with this much more. Like I can help you out here and there, but so that's what I started doing. So I've been coaching kids for a long time. So reading the kids' personality is kind of, I've gotten really well. I'm pretty well at that now. So and their skill level, all that, just like you were saying. And at first when we started Texas Tornado MX, I only had a smaller group and they were all like really fast. So it was a little bit easier, but now I got to the point to where you're saying, like, I got different skill levels, different bike sizes. And we've gotten to, I do 30 minutes big bikes, 30 minutes little bikes. So it splits the group kind of. And so that helped out. And then still it gets tough, but like you were saying, one kid's up here and then another kid's kind of not as well. But just kind of pursuit motos. We do a lot of those. Obviously the slowest kid starts first, fastest kids in the back. And then we do a lot of section work, obviously, and where I get to really break down individually what each kid wants to work on. So section work is like by far my favorite, just like individually pointing out to which kid what they need to work on.
Because they're right in front of you too, right? And you can watch them do a corner 10 times and go, oh, that's the problem. Where if they're doing full laps, you're looking at the stopwatch, you're kind of looking, you don't really know, are they doing the right thing over there? Because they're doing it good here. But so do you feel like section work for you is your best way of handling a big group, because they all expose their weaknesses a lot more obviously when they're right in front of your face?
Yeah, exactly. Section work is the go-to way during the moto. Yeah, exactly like what you're saying. I'm stop watching. I'm watching which kids in the lead and who's making a pass. Like so much stuff is going on during the moto. And when you got like 7-8 kids out there in one group at a time, it gets chaotic. So I love doing section work, and we got ruts that are just like this deep. We got clay at one side of the track and sand on the other side of the track. So it's a good variety of stuff and elevation, off camber corners, all kinds of stuff. So we like just work a different section pretty much every day when we go out there, and try to break it down, all the kids' flaws and which section where he needs to work and where it can be better.
As a coach, what do you draw from as far as implementing this into your students? You have your experiences as a racer, what you've been through, your own riding technique. Then you also, of course, I know you're probably like I am. As much as you're competitive and you're there, you're still a fan of the sport. You're watching Ken Rocks and Cooper Webb. So do you kind of balance a little bit of your coaching based on who you are and what you've learned, also by what you're seeing them do, and try to maybe instill a combination of both with a rider?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of pride myself on my technique as a rider. I think I have a pretty decent technique if you look at photos of me or watch me ride. And but I also do break down like pictures of Cooper or Kenny or even Tomac. Sometimes I'll like show my phone a picture of this kid of Kenny or Cooper hitting a corner, and just like how their outside elbows up, like they're looking ahead, their legs super tight, like their feet are tight. Like I'll show all these kids photos of like the best pro rider who won it Saturday night, and see like, look, this is what you need to work on. And I'll break down, I'll show them a video of themselves. I'll slow it down, show them where their legs at, show them where they're looking and their body positioning, all of that. And then compare it to the photo of who just won on Saturday night. And they like it. They like it a lot when I start showing them photos and pictures.
It's weird. I don't know if you've done this. I did this with myself, and it was a super weird. I don't even know how the conversation. Actually, okay, I do remember now. It was when I rode for Geico in 2009. I was at the Honda track, and I come off, and my mechanic Brian Kranz, team manager, they're like, "Man, you really look like Josh Grant when you ride." And I was like, "Wow, that's a compliment," because I thought Josh Grant was like one of the sickest looking riders ever. And I felt like from that point on, I always kind of tried to ride more like him, almost like I imagined that I was him, and like, how would he sit his body? How would he hit this jump? And it was weird because he was way younger than me, but I mean, I was in the 250 class. He was winning 450 main. So it was like, I respected him so much. I wanted to be like Josh Grant, the guy who was younger than me.
Yeah.
Now my son races, he's 10 years old, and he's always looked like Trey Kennard. He's got big elbows, the way he sits. So now I show him videos of Trey, and I'm always like, hey, don't forget, like, ride like Trey out there. And he does. Do you see these kids that ride and go, man, you look like Kenny, or you look like Plessinger, and show them like, dude, you could be like that. You know what I mean? Can you put that in their head a little bit? Because I think when you do, they feed off that because they feel like I can be like Ken Roxon. You know what I mean? Do you ever do that when you see kids' riding style and try to compare and maybe tell the kid, hey, be more like Ken?
I do that a little bit, but I like what you're saying right there. I need to pick up on that more and definitely like pick out which kid looks like which rider and maybe say, hey, look, you can do that just a little bit better and you look exactly like them. No reason not to be him.
You're 90% Aaron Plessinger, but if you do this and that, you could be 100% Aaron. And I think the kids would dig that because I mean, I was like 25 years old and I dug that when I heard that. So
yeah.
I'm gonna be like Josh Grant now.
JG was my idol too growing up, dude. He actually he rode for Honda of Houston and he stayed at my house at one point when he was like on 85s and I was really young. So he was like literally the first guy that I knew that turned pro and got a Geico ride and like made it big right away, and like JG was one of my influencers and like a big coach to me growing up. Like it's super cool that you brought that up just now.
I mean, dude, you could make the case for so many riders who have the sickest style. He's somewhere in my top 5. And when I was told that I looked like him, I was like, oh, you think I look like him? Wait till you see what I'm gonna do now the rest of the day. Like I literally like made a few adjustments.
Yeah.
And I went full JG after that point. But no, that's just one of the fun parts of coaching though, right? Is you're dealing with all these different kids and their different styles. And I'll throw a technical question at you. There's like the perfect fundamentals, right? But then you see riders that don't ride that way and have success too. For instance, like Villapoto and Dungey, to me, are on the Mount Rushmore of best racers we've ever had in the sport. They don't look the same. They don't ride the same. Is that kind of hard too as a coach? Because not one fundamental style will work. There's multiple styles. You want to get it close for probably for safety and for, you know, you don't want to be coming into a corner with braking bumps sitting down. Like there's certain things you can't get away from, but do you let a rider kind of have his own style and his own flavor just because they are who they are and get the best out of them? Or do you try to steer them all back to like a central fundamental like style?
Yeah, I sometimes I do. If like a kid's like really good and somehow he pulls off something that I'm like, man, that's not really right, but somehow you're making it work, dude. Like I brought up the kid I trained Gage Brown earlier. Like sometimes he will hit right-handers like deep ruts on a 65, and he's pretty big on a 65, and he'll keep his feet on the peg and drag the rear brake a little bit where he could just lean into it and just get that leg up and rip it, and he pulls it off. And sometimes he's more mistake free if he keeps his feet on the pegs in a deep right-handed rut. And I'm like, dude, let's just work both, because I can see you're good at this and you're pulling it off, but you need to also work on this side
Yeah.
too.
So you'll
Yeah,
add a layer to his skill set, but you're not going to take away something that's pretty sick too, that can work. Maybe not in that corner, you might not like it, but you might like it somewhere else. So let's not abandon that style. Is that what you mean?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Some kid pull things off, just like you were saying, Dungy and Villapoto being like kind of total opposites. But I mean, Dungy was always like kind of picture perfect, and Villapoto just he would hang it out, but obviously he made it work. So I mean, how can you change that if they're making it work, you know?
I mean, I'm watching Daytona when Plessinger and Webb are battling. It's like they couldn't be any further
Yeah.
apart in style, and they're both so sick. It just, again, I'm always been set on like there's a right way to ride, but I think that right way is a pretty big bubble. You can kind of be at the
Mhm.
edges of that right way, and be okay, and that's why you see multiple styles work. And but I have to imagine that's hard as a coach sometimes too, because you know what works, but you're having to kind of adapt to the rider a little bit too, and not take away maybe some things that he does have that are special, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, that is when you notice a kid has something special, you don't want to try to change his ways too much. You might want to tweak them, but yeah, not get it outside of that bubble too much, you know, like try to perfect his ways, but adjust it.
Okay, so this will be a hard question. You're either racing, you're riding, you're coaching. What do you do beyond the track outside? Like what is maybe your one escape? You know, a lot of riders golf. I got to go golfing. That's their thing. Some people just like to watch movies. What is your thing? If dirt bikes is off the table, what's Vann Martin doing?
Dude, I live this
Hardest question
24/7
ever,
all
right?
the time, dude. I mean, I love to go fishing. Like fishing is my thing. Like I've been fishing with Aaron Plessinger, like Cooper Webb. Like I've been friends with them growing up, so we try to fish all the time. But dude, I haven't had much time in a long time to do that. So pretty much the time I have away from the track, I try to give my wife some time. Honestly, man, I try to figure out what's gonna make her happy, because I'm so busy that
Good
I'm
answer.
just like, man, I gotta make sure she's happy too. I don't have time. I don't need to go fishing, you know. I don't need to have fun for myself. I need to have fun with her, you know.
Good answer.
Yeah,
I do the
exactly.
same. When everyone says, if you're not working or whatever, what are you doing? Spending time with my wife, because if I don't,
Yeah,
I'm in trouble,
yeah,
man. Because I'm busy too. I'm gone a lot. I'm working a lot, and making sure she's happy is what keeps my support from her. You know, obviously we love what you love what you do, right? And you want
mm,
her to support that. If you definitely give her her time, she'll continue to support that. But if you use your free time to go fishing with your buddies, man, the
yeah,
support's gonna run out.
exactly. Got to
Hey,
make sure
so
home life is good.
exactly. Hey, so I guess moving forward, like looking at the future, what do you want to accomplish with your racing? So, because I see what you're doing with the coaching, this facility, the training. Obviously, you're putting a lot of energy. I mean, you're sacrificing your own riding on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for these kids and for this part of your life. So, I think I get what you're doing there and what you want to accomplish. But on the racing side, on the All South side, what is it that you're chasing, say, over the next 5 years that you still want to accomplish?
Dude, I want to make a 450 main, dude. Like it's been on my bucket list. I know you got one, right? I want to.
I got 3. In fact, bro, my last
Maybe I'm thinking of that Houston one you always bring up, where you beat
Houston,
Stu, right?
Houston 2012. That was my last Supercross I ever raced. I made the 450 main that night, and I beat James Stewart straight up, lapped him 6 times.
Dude,
He
so sick.
was he was sleeping on the side of the track those
We
6
don't have to
times.
bring that up.
Hey, the results sheet says what it says, man. It is what
Yeah.
it is. I beat Josh Hansen that night too, fairly easily. I think I lapped him 4 times. He might have pulled off a little early. I don't know what he had going on, but that was my last one. I've made 3 450 mains in my career, and you got to get one, bro. It is cool. It is cool.
I know. I'm off right now, honestly. I mean, the lack of preparation, it kind of shows, and I'm barely squeaking in these night shows. It's frustrating, but like I'm trying to build every round, trying to stay safe a little bit. These first few rounds, I know the field's probably going to get weaker, but now we're getting towards the end, and it's really not getting much weaker. You know, it's like
holding up this year really well.
Dude, in 2019, it thinned out towards the end, and I missed a bunch of opportunities. I got like 5th in the LCQ 3 times, and dude, I was like, and I don't even think I'm riding as good as I am right now. And the field's just so deep right now, and it's really tough, dude. And I'm frustrated with how I'm like racing. My practice pace, I don't feel too bad, but I'm still trying to get comfortable really, and the lack of preparation is showing. But I'm trying to just get better each round, and I really need to get a better qualifying position so I can get a better gate pick for the heat race, therefore a better finish in the heat race, better gate pick for the LCQ. Then if I pull a whole shot in the LCQ,
it's on.
I think I'll ride like myself. I honestly, if I get a decent start in a heat race or LCQ, I ride pretty well. But if I start in the back like I've been doing pretty much every weekend, I just I'm there. I'm not like
you become part of the train. That's
dude,
all
I
it is.
don't know, dude. I get stuck in whoever's pace is like right in front of me, and it's been pissing me off. And I'm just like, dude, I need to get a better gate pick going into the show, and I'm gonna get a better start and all that. So I want to make 450 main event, dude. And it might not come this year, but because this year is super sucked, but I'm just gonna keep working and keep trying to stay safe and keep building and becoming better.
I'll tell you this: that year in Houston, 2012, when I made the main, the 2 races before that, I qualified 34th in times and 40th in times. Barely even got into the night show at those 2, and then at Houston, got in the main. And I think you know exactly how that happens. If you're feeling that track that day and you get the start that day, it can happen. This class is so deep now that everything has to come together, but it can. It doesn't matter what happened the week before. It's just got to be your night when it's that stacked. There's riders that, I mean, Brock Tickle missed the main last night.
Yeah.
And I mean, crashed out, but he wasn't going to get in that last corner, I don't think. That's how easily you can lose it or get it just by like Scotty Champion last night, got in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was up there, made good moves, felt the track, was in. It was like no problem. And then who knows what Tuesday night feels like, because everything changes. So to that point, just need that night. You just need that night.
Exactly. I just need to start, and I ride like myself. I haven't been riding like myself, and it's just because of the start, man. It really is.
Well, Van, thanks for coming on Beyond the Track. It's pumped to talk to you again. I like to talk to people that have multiple stories going on at the same time, because that's the life I live. So to hear you talk about All South and talk about your personal racing career and the coaching side of things, I know the fans dig it. I love it too. So again, thanks for coming on Beyond the Track, and try to pull it off this week. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Daniel. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate the time as always, dude.
I'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks, buddy.
All right, you too. Later.